let's continue. We're at page 2 now. The first entry in page 2 is abbess. A-B-B-E-S-S. Abbesses, countable noun. And abbess is the nun who is in charge of the other nuns in a convent. In a convent, it's a nun. You know, the female counterpart of a hunk. You know, those people who shave off their hair and go live in temples and yeah. It's a member of female religious community, a nun. Or it's referring to just in general a female religious community, a nun. I'm expecting some women without hair. Nun. Oh, not exactly. Just a religious nun. Well, not this nun. They don't have to necessarily shave off their hair like their male counterparts. Nun. An abbess is the nun who is in charge of the other nuns in the convent. In a convent. What is a convent? C-O-N-V-E-N-T. Let's see. Convent. A convent. 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 Convent.
Convent.
Convent is a building in which a community of nuns live. Yeah, a place where a community of nuns live, like a church, I'm guessing. Convent. Convent. Like a big church where nuns live. Convent, nuns. Convent, nuns. And an abbess, A-B-B-E-S-S, is a nun who is in charge of the other nuns in a convent. Convent. Abbess, abbess. Well, next entry. Abbey, A-B-B-E-Y. Abbeys, countable noun. An abbey is a church with buildings attached to it in which monks or nuns live or used to live. So monks are the male counterparts of nuns. Let's see. Monks. A monk is a member of a male religious community that is usually separated from the outside world. Monk, not monk, but monk. Monk.
Monk.
Monk. Let's see how they look like. This time I'm really expecting some males without hair. Monk. Yeah. But strictly speaking, they're not totally bald. You can still see some, tiny hair roots. Is that right? To describe that, hair root? Is there such a thing? Hair root. Just a literal translation of its Chinese meaning, its Chinese word, hair root. Oh yeah. Archy hair follicle, archy hair bulb, hair shaft. It's hair shaft. Hair shaft is a part of the hair not anchored to the follicle, and much of this is exposed at the skin surface. shaft, shaft. The part of the hair that is not anchored to the follicle, and much of this is exposed at the skin's surface. The rest of hair is anchored in the follicle lies below the surface of the skin. Hair shaft, shaft, is a shaft. Shaft, shaft, or shaft.
Shaft.
Shaft. I'm sticking to shaft, shaft. A shaft is long vertical passage, for example, lift, shifts a rod, transfer movement in the machine. Shaft. Long piece of wood or metal that forms part of a spear, axe, golf club, or other object. Well, let's stop here. After looking for the pronunciation of axe, is that axe or axe? Axe, axe,
Axe.
axe, axes,
Axes.
axes. Oh, let's move on. We will repeat it once more. An abbey is a church with buildings attached to it in which monks or nuns live or used to live. Abbey, we're still at the second entry of page 2. Abbey. Abbey is like a convent. Is that even larger? With buildings attached to it. So it has a building, but it has some buildings attached to it, and those buildings attaching to the main building is a place where nuns and monks live. If I'm understanding it correctly. Abbey, those little houses. Church with buildings attached to it in which monks or nuns lived or used to live. Or just regarded as some large buildings like a convent where nuns and monks live. If we're not going into the details, well, we can, but later. Let's move on. Abbot, abbot, A-B-B-O-T, abbots. An countable noun. An abbot is the monk who is in charge of the other monks in a monastery or abbey. Abbey again. These large, magnificent buildings. Some little, with some smaller buildings attached to it. Abbey, abbot. An abbot is a monk who is in charge of the other monks in a monastery or abbey. So it's the male counterpart of an abbess. Abbot and abbess. Abbess, bess, is the in the word bed. Abbess is a nun who is in charge of the other nuns, and abbot, A-B-B-O-T, is a monk who is in charge of the other monks in a monastery or abbey. What is a monastery? I'm expecting something like the convent. Monastery. M-O-N-A-S-T-E-R-Y. A monastery is a building or a collection of buildings in which monks live. Yeah, just a place where buildings in which monks live. A building or collection of buildings. So it can be made of several buildings combined together. Monastery. Wow. I think that's even bigger than an abbey. It looks even bigger, even cooler, like a castle. So until now we have four words for religious people, which are nuns, abbess, head of nuns, monks, male religious people, and abbot, the monk who is in charge of the other monks. And four words. Oh, sorry, just three. Am I right? Convent, abbey, monastery. No, just three. We have three words to describe buildings in which monks and nuns live. They are convent, the place where nuns live, and abbey. It can have monks or nuns live in there. A church with the buildings attached to it, abbey, and a monastery. Monastery is a place where monks live. Again, so nun, abbess, monks, and abbot. The three places: convent, abbey, and a monastery. Well, let's move on. The next entry: abbreviate, abbreviating, abbreviated. Abbreviate is a verb. If you abbreviate something, especially a word or a piece of writing, you make it shorter. It's usually followed by a noun and a to, like abbreviate something to. Sample sentence: he abbreviated his first name to Alec, A-L-E-C. Let's see how can we pronounce that, A-L-E-C. In Google Translate we trust. Alec. It says Alec. Looking for traditional Chinese. Alec. He abbreviated his first name to Alec. First name is like if your name is Peter Parker, then Peter is your first name and Parker is your family name or last name. That's a good thing to remember. First name. Well, that's quite intuitive. Like in the name Peter Parker, the Spider-Man, Peter is the word that comes first. That's why it's called the first name. And Parker is the word that follows the first name. That's why it's called the last name or the family name. Peter Parker, Mary Parker, or Ben Parker, Uncle Ben. But that might just be the case in English. I'm not sure about other languages. But in Cantonese or Chinese, like Chan Tai Man, I believe Tai Man is the first name, like the name, and Chan is a family name or the last name. Right, let's recall it twice. He abbreviated his first name to Alec. 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 Right. Next entry. Abbreviation. Abbreviations. Abbreviation. Countable noun. An abbreviation is a short form of a word or phrase made by leaving out some of the letters or by using only the first letter of each word. So it's a shortened version of a word, an abbreviation of something. Sample sentence: the postal abbreviation for Kansas is KS. Postal, something related to mailing, I'm guessing. Postal. Like a poster, a man responsible for delivering letters and packages. Postal is used to describe things for people connected with the public service of carrying letters and packages from one place to another. Yes, it's an adjective. The postal abbreviation for Kansas. Kansas is the name of a country, of a county in America. Kansas. And I'm sorry, but I believe in the last video I kept saying American instead of America when I was meant to describe the state, not the state itself, the America, not American. I'll pay more attention to this type of error. Kansas, Kansas,
Kansas.
Kansas, Kansas,
Kansas.
Kansas. It's a state of the central United States, Midwestern state of the NC, New York City, or New Central US. Well, we're not going to the details. Just a state in United States consists of undulating. Let's go for this word. This undulate. Something that undulates has gentle curves or slopes, moves gently and slowly up and down, or from side to side in an attractive manner. Undulates. If something undulates, the countryside begins to undulate. Likes to, the road started to go up and down, but in a general manner. Like the slope is not very steep. Undulate. Let's see what we can get if we type this word in. Undulate. Yeah, I just keep curving outwards, inwards. But not going very far, not very high up or very low. Just like a wave. Undulates. The countryside begins to undulate, but it's for literary uses. So we might have to avoid this word in everyday composition or essays. His body slowly undulated in time to the music. Undulated. His body slowly undulated in time to the music. It's like his body started to move with the beat of the music, with the rhythms of the music. Well, how do we describe that word? Move with just move with the music. Undulates, move slowly, like a wave, like a gentle wave. I really know nothing about music. Please let me know if you know what word I was talking about. The rhythms, the beat. No. I'm sure they're all wrong. Well, this video is getting long. Let's continue page 2 in the next. Let's continue reading page 2 in the next video.